Okay. Again, what is the characteristics of a relevant data? Which data you should use. So how to convert the data into an input? That is what. So you should test for the accuracy. Data are free from error and basic and errors and basic and reflect the characteristic that are designed to measure. So here I would like to say, if I am going to value an industrial property, basically I'm from Coimbatore, okay, Tamil Nadu. So we are here. We have industrial pockets, we have residential pockets, we have commercially developed pockets, we have agriculture pockets, all those things. Again, in industry, we have all red zone, green zone, yellow zone, every thing. So when I want to first value a property, if I go enter into an industry in particular, so generally what let it be for a bank purpose, that is mortgage valuation. Okay. So what set of data should I look for? Should I look for a land rate to come? If I am going to do it in a cost approach method, again I am going to split it into land, building, amenities, improvements, whatever it is. Okay. So first part is land component. So how do I get a land value? The immediate next land, or within 500 to say 1 kilometer, there are 2 or 3 transactions which has been transacted on for an agricultural land. This particular site is a industrial land, and after 1 kilometer, I have a data of residential layout which has been coming up, and those developed land rate is available to me. Can I compare these agricultural land and a residential land to derive the value of an industrial land? To derive the value for an industrial land. This is a readily available data to me as on when I just visit the property. One or two instances which is very close to the within 100 meters or 200 meters to the particular industry. I am having an agriculture sale instance or an quoted instance with respect to agriculture land. Okay, but after 1 kilometer or 1.5 kilometers, after 1.5 kilometers, I have a fully developed land of residential plots. Can I use these two data to derive the value of the particular industrial properties land? First I'm saying I'm doing it by cost approach. Let us forget about the income and the comparable that is market approach. So what is the right method to do an industry, whether it is a cost approach or the other approach, that is different. But now we have said that we have come to a limitation that we are doing it by cost approach. So in cost approach, first component is the land. Can I use this data of agricultural land and an industry and what do you call residential land to derive the land rate of a industrial land? Anybody in the chat box? Okay. No comments from the chat box. My opinion is first you should look for the same use. Mostly an industrial land. These type of lands, that is an agriculture or residential land, should be used as a lot resort if you are not getting anything of industrial. Even if an industrial land is far away with certain attributes matching to this particular industrial land, can also be taken into consideration with certain adjustments of weightages. Okay, so the first and foremost thing to have a comparable for a land should be the land use pattern. That is my humble opinion. So what they say is, this is from IVS. These are all the five shoulds you should consider while taking a data. Okay, the data should be accurate enough, and you should test it for you should find out whether it is a correct data or something like that, or a bogus data. Okay, and data should be complete. It should be complete in all respects. For this, I would say some example today. I don't know how in other states. In Tamil Nadu, our registration department website is open, and in that website we can find out the transactions of a particular survey number, a particular TS number for a particular property for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line. We can take a record of it. Okay, we can just download it that. What are the transactions done? Okay, so once we go on online and find out what is the transaction happened in that particular survey number, and it will either it is a settlement deed, it is a mortgage deed, or whatever it is. Everything will be there. And there is a column called market value. There is a column called transaction value, the area of the plot, survey number of the plot, with its boundaries, whether it is with building, without building. So those type of things are there, with boundaries or something like that. Okay. In some cases, in the particular thing, that there will be like schedule one, schedule two, schedule three, schedule three. There will be three or four schedules combined and made into a single document. When you go search it into the thing, you will get some points which is relevant, like you'll know what is the total transaction amount, what is the date, what is the thing, who has sold, who has bought, all those things. When you go into details into it, they will at one point they will write with 500 square meter of land, with a building, with a terrace building, with a mangrove tile building. In some documents they will say it with the 100 square meter of RCC building of age this much. So that description will be there. In something, that description will be missing. In some places, the boundaries will be missing. In some places, out of four, five schedules, only two schedules will be there. Other three schedules will be missing. So there is an there is an inconsistency in the data available in that particular thing. So you should see to that the data is totally complete, the entire information. So I am finding out that the transaction is done for 1.5 crores. But for that 1.5 crores, what are the components? How much land? How much building? How much extra amenities? Everything is there inside. That we should see. That is called the complete set of data. So which will address to the entire attributes. Okay, which will address to the entire attributes. So those complete set of data has to be verified. Whether this data is having all the data, or some points are missing. Okay, then timely data should have a validation date. So whether my valuation date, what is my valuation date? What is the date and time of this particular transaction? Whether this has been done on a very close to this, or 1 year, 2 years, 3 years down the line. So if it is 1 year, 2 year down the line, anything seriously happened between the transaction date and my valuation date, that has to be observed. It is only a general inflation, general rise in prices, or general downfall in prices, all those things. Okay, then it is okay. If there is any drastic change in the physical condition of the property, or physical condition of the environmental, or any change like in a political environment or something like that, in between the valuation date and the date of transaction, those data should not be considered for the input for a particular assignment. It is not said that the date should be within 2 months, within 5 months. No. See, first of all, our standards is a principle based standard. It is not a rule based standard. There are two different set of standards. One is rule based, one is principle based. When I think most of us are civil engineers, when I do a land and building valuations, okay, or architects. So we follow IS 456, IS 800, or and lot of IS codes for some other material or some for the materials or something like that. Okay, there are a lot of codes. So all the codes and all the things are being giving a formulas and giving a set of numbers. If it is in the particular region, this should be the cover. This is the minimum. This is the maximum. This is the maximum deflection I can. This is the maximum crack width I can have. Those things we call it as a rule based. All those standards are set on a rule based standard after doing certain experiment. This but our valuation standard is not a rule based standard. It is a principle based standard. It is a principle based standard. Okay. So it is a principle based standard. Here they have said it should be timely. So they have not defined that timely should be within 6 months, within 1 month, within 1 year, within 2 years, within 3 years. What does that mean is the difference in time. That is the difference in transaction date and the difference in valuation date. In between, there should not be any major. There should not be any major events coming in between to change the value. To change the value, that is a consideration. Even within 1 month, there is a major change. Then we are not supposed to take that particular data as an input to our valuation. There is a public announcement coming that we are going to acquire. We are going to widen this road. The transactions happen, and my valuation date is just 2 months later. But in between that, there is an announcement from the government that in this particular road we are going to widen that, and we are going to acquire some 20-30 feet this particular to widen this road, or we are going to construct a bridge, or a flyover or something like that, which is going to cost us 3 years, 4 years down the line. So there will be a phenomenal change in the requirement, in the financial, in the economic conditions of the particular thing. If it is a business and environmental, okay, 3 years down the line, if the construction is going to happen for a major construction, okay, then the business in that particular area will come down, that the transportation will fall, heavy vehicles cannot flow. Even a heavy vehicles can flow, the purchasers or the customers coming in, going out will feel the difficulties. If it is 4 days, 5 days, 10 days down the line, it is different. If it is going to be years together to do that particular project, then there will be a change. There will be economic impact on that particular announcement. So those things has to be considered. Then accordingly, we have to either change or we have to make a lot of adjustment in that particular data. Okay. Then transportation. So from transparency, from where the data has been collected, that should be a transparency in that particular data. The third person should be in a position to check the data. He said, I have taken this or taken that or something like that. Even if you taken from 99acre.com, you have taken from Brick Magic or any sort of other websites. There are a lot of websites, local websites, local newspapers, community papers or something like that. Okay, you should check for the transparency of the particular thing. So there are 4 tests. You do this 4 tests for particular data and finally conclude whether that data can be converted into an input or not. These 4 is mandatory according to IVS.